You ready to be a star? A little three-legged star, huh? Yeah, that fat cat's got nothing on you. Huh.
Oh, what's up? Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to yet another Houston Problem. Problems abound plenty today. We have ourselves, crashing economy again based upon two things. The tariffs got reenacted or reinstated or whatever you want to say for a whole bunch of nations around the world. Reports from companies not so great coming in, and job losses like crazy. So basically, the jobs reports have been way off. We're adding way fewer jobs to the market. Possibly, July is going to get revised down to job losses. Things are going to be rough. So, Trump's response was to fire the person in charge of reporting on how bad things are. Well, that'll solve everything. You know, when I lose a basketball game, I make sure I fire the scorekeeper because that's exactly, how things work. Remember, the Fed board resigned today to go teach at Georgetown, and Trump has vowed to put in basically a knuckle-dragging moron who's going to cut rates. If you don't realize it yet, we're at the point where job creation isn't happening, which happens pretty much in every Republican administration. The economy is starting to retract, and inflation is going up. So we are entering stagflation, and if they cut rates now, we're doomed. We will not have the tools to get out of the malaise without jacking rates up to like 20% like we did in the 80s. So, welcome to a real tough time. That being said, the programming claiming that there was going to be all sorts of equity distributions and everything today appears to not have dropped any money in anyone's accounts or equity in anyone's accounts. Maybe it's something that happens over the weekend. Maybe it's something that happens on Monday. I don't know. But at the moment, we don't have the money in our accounts. It's another hype day that has come and gone. And here we sit. Twiddle, man. Just keep twiddling. I waited to do a late show in case something would happen after hours, and I think I waited 4 hours, and that's long enough. And nothing has happened yet, so we wait more. Until then, bing. Okay. Turn it off. Boop. There we go. All right. So, a couple of super chats came in here. One sec. We got one from Bill Coyne. All those articles in Wall Street Journal saying everything is fantastic. Gasp. Could they have been untruthful? Oh, from the Wall Street Journal editorial board, 100%, because they don't know what the hell they're doing. Basically, every economist on Earth is like, this is terrible, and things are going to get worse, and then they have. Yesterday, I went to a Ryan Peterson tweet from last November when Trump got elected. He's like, hey, everybody, I'm going on television later. Give me your predictions as to what's going to be happening with the import-export market after Trump's elected. 119 comments. Basically, 2 people, 119, were like, shit's going to get real bad. And there's a bunch of people that were right. Everyone else is like, oh, manna from heaven. Kittens will come and hug you. Mexico will be our greatest friend. We will defeat Ukraine or whatever. And they were all wrong. All wrong. Like, the United States become a manufacturing mecca. We lost manufacturing jobs last month. So no, we're not becoming a manufacturing mecca at all. We're becoming the opposite of that. We are going to be devoid of manufacturing because the trade deals Trump keeps claiming he has, which he doesn't have any trade deals. No one signed anything. Is that we pay 15% tariff to import things from like Japan or EU, right? And then they don't pay any tariffs to get stuff from us. But if we want to manufacture something, for us to get the raw materials, we have to pay a 50% tariff to get the raw materials to build this thing here. So it's cheaper to buy a car from Japan than it is to build a car in the United States as a result. Oops. So they're just going to build the cars in Japan or build the cars in Germany. They aren't going to build the cars here. Our manufacturing jobs are going to just vaporize out of existence. And we've pissed everyone off so much they don't want our exports anyway. They don't want our corn. They don't want our beef. They don't want our soybeans. They don't want any of it. So they're just not buying it. You go to Canada, they have apps on their phones that tell you if a product is made in Canada or not, or owned by an American company. And if it flags, right, they're going along and they're boop, 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 boop. If it flags, they turn that product upside down so that everybody who goes into the store knows that's American, not to buy it. They're doing this elsewhere in the world too. So we have poisoned the well of goodwill, and we don't have the goodwill anymore. So anyway, yeah, all the editorial board of Wall Street Journal, a bunch of dumbasses, and that's what they are. Cameron Mirza, animal treat, please. Oh. You don't get excited anymore. We might need to change this up. You got to finish these off first before we change it up, though. That's a nice big one. Look at that one. Know that? Take it. Come on. Come on. Come on, monkey. There you go. You're going to have it whether you like it or not. Are you just sick of pig's ears? Is it not doing it for you anymore? You look offended. You look offended that I put a snack, a treat, right in front of you. Come on, do it. Do it. We got to eat all of them. You got to eat all of them, monkey, because if you don't, we'll have nothing to replace it with. So, finish it. Finish it. Finish it. Come on. Oh, there you go. All right. There she goes. She's like, I've had these before. There she goes. She's munching now. Okay, thank you, Mirza. She's got like 4 more left, and then we can move on to a different snack. There she goes. There she goes. Okay, D33 Rock first. Alfred Simpson second. N69 69th. N9. Another hype day here and gone, as is tradition. Told ya we'll likely see War before Epstein files ever released. Yeah, so Medvedev the other day got on Twitter and then on some Telegram channels like, oh, Donald Trump, you better look out because the dead hand's coming. I'm fucking dead. And Donald Trump's like, I am now putting nuclear submarines around Russia. So they got their little WWE thing brewing as a result. Whatever. Darren, meow. You're a car enthusiast like myself. Would you consider buying a salvage title car with hail damage, all cosmetic damage, then get it repaired to have it as your personal car? Good or bad idea? Hell yeah. I mean, hail damage, you buff it out or you add 40 pounds to the car by just filling it with Bondo. A lot of hail damage you can just pull out. Just get a dent puller and pull that. Painstaking. It's a pain in the ass. You can also like remove the panels and hammer a lot of it out. But yeah, I mean, the underlying car runs awesome, right? And sometimes it might even, have only a few miles on it. If you drive around with it dented like a golf ball, you actually get better gas mileage. So there's that. It acts like a golf ball. It creates these little eddies and air flows over it more easily. You'll like save a mile or 2 per gallon. They proved that on Mythbusters. So yeah, I would never get a flooded car. Don't get flooded cars. Get cars that have been little fine defender benders, ones that have hail, like light damage. That's stuff that's easy to fix. Flooded cars, dude, you'll have electrical problems that will never end, and there'll be like no getting around it other than just like redoing the entire electrical system, which will cost you a fortune. And 9, Harris not thinking about rerunning. So who is it going to be, Houston? Who else but Newsom even could stand a chance at this point? Well, Newsom has definitely put himself out there as the front runner. Newsom is a straight up psychopath, like legit cluster B personality disorder. But the difference is he's our psychopath. And I think Newsom's going to run on a platform of, I'm going to fuck Trump up. I saw a tweet said that earlier. I think if Newsom gets into office, he is going to do a Nuremberg trial of everybody who's involved in this administration and just watch them hang from the gallows. So that's what he's going to run on, and I think a lot of Americans will respond to that because, he's telegenic, he's charismatic, he's well-spoken, he doesn't take shit from anyone, and Americans respond really, really well to somebody who's actually a tough guy. Trump is not a tough guy. Trump is a doughy, soft-handed, never done a day of work in my life dandy, and who smells like farts. And yeah, I think Newsom at this point is the front runner for all that. To anyone in the super chats, I was happy when Hulk Hogan died. F that dude. Jesse Ventura and Iron Sheik way better. Even his daughter wanted nothing to do with him. Yeah, Hulk Hogan was a piece of crap, and he was racist. He was hateful. He sexualized his daughter, kind of like Trump. I guess that's why that's so much in common. As a kid, I didn't really watch wrestling that much, but I knew who Hulk Hogan was. I was like, oh, Hulk Hogan's like the man. You see a 6'7" big strong dude throw people around, and you're like, that's awesome. But beyond that, Hulk Hogan as like a human being on the inside was a garbage animal, and he's sucking devil's dick down in hell right now. D33 Rock, Houston, naps and puts your calls. I should have. I didn't. If I had just bought puts yesterday, I'd be up like 50 grand this morning, and I didn't do it. I didn't pull the trigger. It's once bitten, twice shy. I had a whole plan to do it, and I just didn't do it, and I don't know why I didn't do it. I didn't. So, but yeah, I grabbed both for the long weekend. For President Taco, I just need to get a bucket of popcorn and ready to watch and see how it unfolds. Yeah, I think we're gonna see a big old drop over the weekend, and then perhaps midday on Monday, Trump does some sort of reversal and has it go right back up again. Different Lime. Don't forget the new tariffs don't actually start till the 7th, just like how in April they didn't actually start until the 9th. Get ready to get bloody. Jordan Trutman. Dude, what's with all the news that Bed Bath & Beyond is taking over Kirkland stores on the 8th? Bed Bath & Beyond signed a deal with the Kirkland Home stores, right? To put the physical locations of Bed Bath & Beyond in there. It's some sort of joint deal between Beyond and Kirkland. I don't know how much ownership stake Kirkland gets from any of that, or if it's just like a licensing deal or what. But yeah, they're making physical stores again, and that's what they're doing. Fred Jones did some lurker fishing. Hot Pocket Rebel, AOK. Ooh, there's a lurker. Bill Coin, Kubi Fora 19, Audio Bubbles. Oh man, we got 3. That's a 60% ratio there. Nice job, Fred. Good cast. Julio, your record's being tied right now for lurker fishing with memberships. Get off me, bug. Get out of here. That's what I get for leaving the doors open. Start to come in and gnaw on me. Good one. Nice. 3 out of 5. That's very good. Okay. Jason Blackwell. No mana for Jason. I just head to my second job now. Hype schmipe. Aww. Avita Zane, sir. To anyone that's all super chats, right about this month, we should also start seeing the Liberation Day tariff thingy and no shipping containers showing up for like 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah. whatever ordering they got done after the Liberation Day, whatever. The ships are going to stop coming in. I mean, they've largely already stopped coming in because they imported so much between January and April. Warehouses were full. So what you're seeing from retailers is they spent a shitload of money in the first quarter to get all this stuff. They're spending zero money in the second quarter as they sell everything, and the warehouses get empty again. And then their outlook is bleak because now they got to spend a lot of money buying things again. So they're having like good reporting with terrible outlooks, which is basically what Amazon said in their earnings yesterday. Is that this is a really good quarter because we bought everything in quarter 1, so we had no spending, and all we're doing is selling stuff now. And then from this point forward, as our warehouse is empty, we got to go back and buy all this expensive shit again and fill up the warehouses, and that's when things are going to hurt. So, yeah. Captain Rhino Houston. Do you expect anything to come from Congress just enacting the Rule of Five? Also, guessing the new White House Grand Ballroom would be gilded, not golden. Yeah, we're new, the grifter age. Probably gilded, that's for sure. The Rule of Five. So 5 senators on the which oversight committee was it? It was the Homeland Oversight Committee. I can't remember which one it was. But if they have a rule, and it's codified in law, that if they demand the release of files, the government has to release it. The executive branch has to release it no matter what's in it, and they enacted that rule. So my guess is that Trump won't release anything, and they're gonna go, and they have to go to court and everything over it, and then go to Supreme Court. The Supreme Court rule in Trump's favor because they're a bunch of clowns. Andrew Stewart, Houston. Let's piss off the Euros. Big dumper for MVP. Who do you give the Cy Young to? Man, who gets the Cy Young this year? If DeGrom stays healthy, he's up there. What's his butt for Tigers? Let's go here. Garrett Crochet. He's with Boston's really good. Zach Wheeler. Why are you popping this crap up? Go away. Okay. Whip leaders. Zach Wheeler is absolute incredible whip. Tariq Skubal, Detroit. Also, his whip is amazing. His whip walks hits per inning. Per inning pitched. Jack Flaherty from Detroit's also doing really well. I mean, the reason why Detroit is doing so well is they've got several pitchers up in the top here. Brian Wu, I think until the last couple of games was a front runner, but he had 2 blowouts against him, and now he's like, the cusp. But, Paul Skeens, Pittsburgh, the guy can't win a game to save his life because Pittsburgh Pirates can't score any runs, and they just traded away the last couple of people who can score runs. So he'll be like Felix Hernandez, where he could win a Cy Young with a losing record, which the 2012 Mariners were absolute garbage team, and they couldn't score to save their lives. So Felix Hernandez would lose a ton of games 1-0 and still won the Cy Young because his actual pitching metrics were amazing compared to everyone else, and that's kind of where Paul Skeens is at the moment. It's going to be really hard to get a Steve Carlton out there who can win 27 games for a team that only won 50 games in a season, because Steve Carlton just would not let anyone score. But Paul Skeens is getting there. It's amazing to see Robbie Ray is back to pitching well again for San Francisco, because he was like an injury-plagued dud here in Seattle after winning his Cy Young with Tampa Bay. Yeah. I mean, Jacob deGrom's 10-3. His whip is .92. He doesn't have the most innings pitched going on. So who are the whip leaders right now? So, Skubal for Detroit, leading in whip. Zach Wheeler for Philadelphia. Paul Skeens, Jacob deGrom, Joe Ryan, Spencer Schwellenbach, and Brian Wu is at number 7 there for the Mariners. Last year, the Mariners had the lowest whip of any team in baseball. This year, they've had a lot of injuries plagued, and so, Kirby and Gilbert have been like this so far this season. But I would say probably Skubal's probably going to get it for the American League, and it's going to be between Zach Wheeler and Skeens for National League. And Skeens got the ERA on it at the moment. He has set a record for number of innings pitched with an ERA under 2 to start a career. So, that guy's pretty magical. What's his butt? Mankiewicz, is it Mankiewicz? The young kid who just came up with the Brewers. That guy is insane. What's his name? Brewers rookie pitcher. Misrowski. Jacob Misrowski. Yeah. That guy is an absolute freak show. Bing bong. Those stats are just silly. So he's currently 4-1. I think his first like 5 games or something, he didn't allow a run. Absolutely nuts. He's striking out people like crazy. 47 strikeouts in how many innings? 33 innings. Strikeout to walk ratio is pretty darn good. Averaging 12.7 strikeouts per 9 innings. And like in the minor leagues, he actually was a freak dominant, and he's coming to the major leagues and just been absolutely unhittable. He's throwing like 104 miles an hour with like 2 feet of movement. Just bonkers stuff. It'd be nice to see if one of these dudes are like a Nolan Ryan and actually has like workhorse freak build and lasts forever. But we haven't had that in a long time. Anywho, Europeans are all asleep right now, so I don't know how many we pissed off. But the other people are like, oh, baseball, gross. All right. Jason Blackwell Hasten. Kevin O'Leary said on CNN that Epstein victims should keep their mouths shut and move on with their lives. Hiding something? 100%. Yeah. I don't know, a lot of people have a problem with empathy. They don't really have the ability to put themselves in the shoes of other people and just sort of like picture and imagine the horrors they may have faced. Now, one of these young women, now she's a woman, but when she was a child, she was 14 years old, right? She had basically been living on her own for 3 years. So since she was an 11-year-old little like 5th grade girl, right? She's been living on her own with her parents, I guess, in and out of jail, disappearing on drug binges, whatever. She'd been wearing the same pair of shoes for 3 years. Now, this is a girl who's probably in the process of growing, busting out of her shoes. She said that she was desperate for attention, desperate for necessities, clothes, shoes, food, a roof over her head, and that in came Ghislaine Maxwell, who was like, I can give you everything in the world. All you have to do is suck these dicks, right? And if you are desperate, you can go to any country where there's famine, war, natural disasters. If you are desperate, people will exploit that desperation, and they will take what they want from you. And rather than being altruistic and be like, oh my God, there's a girl who needs help, maybe we should figure out a way to feed her, get her a roof over her head, do the right thing and be, I don't know, a reasonable, decent human being. They were like, hey, here's a girl we can rape over and over and over again, and no one's going to care. And now people like Kevin O'Leary is like, that girl should shut the fuck up, know her place, and just get over it. I guarantee you, if Kevin O'Leary was at age 14 trafficked into sex slavery, you wouldn't hear the end of it. You wouldn't. Because what happens to him is super duper important, and he matters more than anything in the world because he's mommy's special boy. So if anyone else experiences the horrors of an event like this, episodes, periods of time of absolute just abject horror, they aren't special little boys like Kevin O'Leary. They should just shut up and get over it, because he doesn't want to listen to them blab about the things that happen to them from, this giant rich pedophile cabal that, was running a lot of East Coast elites. So, yeah, fuck that guy. Like, your opinion doesn't matter because your opinion is based upon the fact you have no conscience and a cluster B personality disorder. So, be gone. Or Manson, you said on last show that the bonds were stopped when the shares were. Where does that leave folks like me who bought 300 late 2023? Will we still get a payout? Yes. The response from BNY Mellon, who was the bank that was operating or underwriting those bonds, said that the bonds were halted, but several brokerages traded synthetic equivalents. So basically, they had bonds in the accounts of their customers. And if those customers indicated they wanted to sell the bonds, they would sell them, but they sold them with a different QSIP. So IBKR and I think E-Trade are the two that still kept selling bonds. So these were synthetics that tied back to the original account, which were halted by the estate. So if you bought those in late 2023, you bought bonds that were had like synthetic IOUs attached to them. So you will get everything the bonds get. It's just that it's going to come via painstaking process of like following the chain of custody back to the original. So that's what's coming there. Rob Benson also, maybe shits the fan Monday in our accounts. In our accounts, Bitcoin is shitting the bed. One day down 5,000 or 5.3%. The DIW fell 1.2%. Maybe hedges trying to find liquidity. Definitely look at Bitcoin Sunday night. See what's happening. My guess is that the impacts of all this are going to hit even harder over the weekend. Because Trump will say something stupid. This is what happened last March and April. Is that we'd have a bad day, and then we go over the weekend, and Trump would just put his foot in his mouth, cause the futures to just collapse Sunday night, and Bitcoin would dump, and then we'd open Monday morning just in the trenches, basically. So that's probably what's going to happen. If we're following patterns here, that's what we're going for. Corporal Walnut, plan a good Hawaii vacation for me. How's Kauai? I really, 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 really like Kauai. I had a bit of a horror story on Kauai. Let's see, is my Kauai book in here? It is. Okay. So, my last semester in college, there was a very, very beautiful woman. I'm 25 years old. There's an extremely beautiful woman who was in some of my geology classes. And we hadn't really had much communication with each other. But we ended up sitting next to each other a couple classes. And like, this chick is really hot. So I asked her out. Like, hey, let's go to a movie or something. She was like, totally. And she was into me. And we hit it off. You know, beautiful lady, you know, in college or whatever. And about a month into dating, I realized what a terrible, terrible, terrible mistake I made. I'd never dated somebody who was terrifying. Whenever I dated with somebody, you know, we got along or we didn't, we did things, whatever. It was never like fights or anger or anything like that. It was like either we got along or just wasn't going to work out, and that was it. And to this point, I'd never had dated anybody that I didn't remain friends with. Like, you know, I started dating you because I liked you, and it just isn't working out romantically, but we can still be cordial and friends and whatever. So it turns out that she, when I asked her, I wasn't aware enough to look for rings on fingers because I'm in college, and it just didn't occur to me that people were getting engaged and married and whatever. So apparently, I asked her out, and she took the engagement ring off her finger and broke up with her fiance. Okay, red flag. It turns out that I thought she was closer to my age. She was definitely in her mid-30s, and I was 25. She just had really good genes, was smoking hot for being mid-30s, right? And she'd been married 3 times and engaged 6 times. Red flags. Bong, 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 bong. All right. So it's college. You go to parties. People knock some back, whatever. She was whatever mood she was in when she started having a drink would magnify. So if she was in a great mood when she took a drink, she was the happiest drunk in the entire world. If she was a little sad when she had a drink, she was the saddest person in the entire world. If she was angry when she started having a drink, she was violently abusive. All right. And I had just never been on the receiving end of this. It never occurred to me that I would end up dating somebody I was scared of. But I was at the point where if I broke up with her, I was afraid she was going to like stab me with a steak knife, and then that was going to be it, as just a complete just berserker mode. So I was in terror. So these last few months I was in college. So anyway, I had these friends that lived on the west side of Hawaii near Captain Cook. And we'd go over there on the weekends and hang out with them and go to the beach and like sleep in their guest room or whatever. So Thanksgiving's coming up. She's like, hey, why don't we go over to our friend's house on the other side of the island and just pack a bag? We'll just spend like 5 days over there. I was like, cool, works for me. It's Thanksgiving break. let's go. And she picks me up in her car, and we head out to the. Well, I thought we were gonna go to the other side of the island, but we should take the turn and we go to the airport. I'm like, are we flying over there? She's like, oh, surprise! And she gives me this book, the Ultimate Kauai Guidebook, right? And I'm like, what the hell? She's like, we're gonna spend 5 days in Kauai. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool. All right. So we get on the plane. She gives me the book, and she says, I want you to find something in this book. So when we get the car, we check in the hotel, we're going to immediately go to wherever you pick. And I was like, well, that sounds pretty awesome. So I go through the book, and 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 I come across, where are you? There's pictures of it. I know there are because I went through this book. Here we go. So the Kipu Falls and Pool. So this place here. It's a series of waterfalls. They're all about 15, 20 feet high. There's a whole bunch of rope swings and ivy vines and stuff. You can swing off into the water, and it looks really fun. So I was like, hey, how do we go to this place? And she's like, okay, sounds cool to me. And we land. We get the rental car. We drive to the hotel. We check in. We get our bathing suits, and we head out into the jungle to go to this waterfall. When we get there, we hike down this little trail. There's a bunch of people there swimming and laughing and swinging and having a great time. I'm like, come on, let's go. She's like, I'm just going to sit for a second. I'm a little tired from traveling. I was like, okay. So I swing off the rope swing into the water, climb up the cliff, come back to her. I'm like, come on, let's go. She just goes, And she packs up her things, walks to the rental car, and just drives off and leaves me in the middle of the jungle in my bathing suit with nothing. No phone, no clothes, no shoes, because I left the shoes in the car. I just walked down in my bare feet. And I am stuck in the middle of nowhere on Kauai, just stuck. Like, what the fuck am I? Is this my life now? And so in my mind, I was like, well, do I just start walking? Or do I just hope she comes back for me? And I did the hope she comes back for me. And eventually, she did come back. It's like dark, almost twilight, dusk. And she comes back, so which in Hawaii it's like 6 p.m., but it's been hours at this point. And I'm kind of freezing my ass off this point because I don't have any clothes, and there's still a little altitude there. So in the evening, it starts to cool down. And she comes and she's like, did you learn your lesson? And I was like, yes. She's like, good. I don't have to explain myself again. And I was like, what the fuck? So we get in the car. And we go back to the hotel, and I shower and clean up, and she's all lovey-dovey. She's like, oh, my man learned his lesson. And I still have no fucking clue. To this day, I don't know what happened. I don't know what I did. She told me to pick a spot, and I guess I chose the wrong spot because it wasn't the spot she wanted me to choose, and that my lesson was I'm supposed to read her mind. I don't know. But from that point forward, I was on eggshells for the next 4 days because this woman had my tickets to get home, and she would definitely leave my ass on Kauai with no way to get back to school on the Big Island, and then that would be it. So that being said, we did visit some cool spots. Seeing as both of us were geologists, we went up to the ancient pillow basalt lava flows up at the top of the mountains, like where it rains 400 inches a year, the rainiest spot in the world. We went to the caves on the northwest side of the islands. There's beaches everywhere. There's like more beaches than there are days in the year on Kauai, which is way cooler than the Big Island, which has like 4 beaches. Because it's a much more ancient island, has had more erosion and more ability to create sand. Went surfing one of the days, and the swells got huge. Got too big for me. At first, it was like 5-foot swells. I'm like, this is awesome. And those grew to 16-foot swells. And I'm like, I'm going to die. I'm not good enough to do this. So sat on the beach and watched real pros do their thing. Went to the south side of the island. There's like a really cool community kind of on the southwest side. That's all these homes along the beaches and big, beautiful white sand beaches. And then there was this place called, it was an omelet shop. We went for breakfast a couple of times. It was really good. It was called like Egg-statics or Egg something. It was some egg pun. Eggheads or I don't remember, but it was delicious. And that's all I remember. So, but if you can, for me, go to Kipu Falls, play in that river for me for hours on end so that I can live vicariously through you because I only got to enjoy it for one jump before I became the pariah in that relationship. So please go there and play on the rope swings for me. Yeah. So, yeah, that was hell of a stressful relationship. Oh my goodness. Like, my family came out for my graduation. So it's December 06. I come out for my graduation. A lot of them had never been to Hawaii in their entire lives. I'm really excited like that they came and like, woo! And the girlfriend was pissed that they were there. I have 6 brothers and sisters, right? I've got multiple moms because my dad's been married a bunch of times. I've got, nieces and nephews and everyone. They're all out here for my graduation. They're all having a great time. They're all being fantastic, and I want to show them all the cool things. And she is so mad that they are monopolizing my time. And I could tell my family hated this chick. But they grinned and bared it, and whatever. So my best friend in the entire world, Nick, he dating a girl that wasn't the best person in the world. She was pretty awful. For some reason she loved me, but she'd like chased away all of his friends and family, and he wasn't allowed to contact anybody, and it was a really strange relationship. And just before, probably around that Thanksgiving time, I get a phone call from him. He's like, "Guess what?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I'm getting married." It's like, "Oh, awful." and so like, when you guys come out from graduation, give me dates, and like, "Oh, probably be like December 10th, somewhere in there." And we get closer and closer. Get a couple weeks in, and like give him another call. I'm like, "Hey man, I haven't heard when you guys are coming to the island." And he's like, "Oh, you haven't heard?" I'm like, "No." It's like, "Oh, my girlfriend kicked me out of the house and stole everything, and I'm living at my mom's." So basically, he dated this girl. He remodeled her entire home for her. And the minute he finished the last project, she was like, "Get out." It turns out she had been cheating on him with her mom's 25-year-old boyfriend and doing lots of cocaine. And so he was all by his lonesome, like living above his parents' garage, trying to figure out what to do with his life. And I was like, "Hey, man, just fuck it. Just hop on a plane, come to Hawaii, hang out with me for the last few weeks." And so he's like, "Yeah, okay." I go, I'll do that." In the meantime, my friend Sarah, I've talked about her. She's the one who is the head of human flight for Blue Origin. So you'll see her on TV a lot, like Katy Perry lands and Sarah's there like high-fiving them and everything. So she had been my roommate in Hawaii. She's my best friend. She graduated the semester before me. So she was coming out for the graduation. I was stoked because I really wanted to introduce her to Nick, because the first day I met Sarah, when I moved to Hawaii, I was like, "I should introduce my friend Nick. I think you guys would hit it off." So it took years and years and years and years and years. And now Nick had finally broken up with his witch of a girlfriend, and I could put them together. I was so excited. So Sarah managed to fly out first. So she came out like a day or two early. And Sarah's very, very endowed. She's got huge tracts of land. My girlfriend, not so much, but my girlfriend had a giant butt, and that's my thing. And so Nick's flying into Kona, which is on the other side of the island. So my girlfriend Sarah and I are like, "Hey, let's go to the other side of the island. We'll spend the day at the beach. We'll picnic up to the airport and be cool." And my girlfriend was like so cold to Sarah, so mad at just immediately just seethed and hated this chick, and was convinced that I was like gonna run away with Sarah or something. Like, dude, if I was interested in Sarah, I would have done that a long time ago. I had 4 years to do this, and I had no interest. But anyway, we get to the beach, and Sarah like lays a towel down, and my girlfriend just keeps walking to the other side of the beach and like lays her towel down. And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And Sarah's like, "Just go with her. I'll be fine." So I go over there, and I'm getting like cold shoulder from my girlfriend the entire time. Just like total whatever issues are going on there. And day at the beach is awkward as hell. Sit in the sunshine, just snorkeling, cold shoulder. I don't know what's going on. And so we go to it's time for food. Nick's coming in the evening. I think he's like 9 o'clock in the evening or something. So we're like, "Hey, let's go get some dinner." So we go to the Kona Brewery, and we sit down at a table. It's just 3 of us, and the girlfriend's like, "I'm going to the restroom." She gets up, and both Sarah are like, "What the fuck has been going on today?" We're like, "What the hell? I don't know, man. Like, this is weird. I am so sorry she's being so mean to you. I don't know what's going on. This is fucked up." And the girlfriend comes back. She's like, "You guys are talking about me, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we kind of were because you're being really weird." She's like, And we like eat dinner awkwardly. And Sarah's like, "Hey man, Costco's across the street. Can we get over there? I forgot to get a SIM card or a SD card for my camera." It's like, "Cool, yeah, we can head over there." So we go in. I got the card. Go in, and Sarah goes to like look for an SD card, and the girlfriend in front of all of Costco starts just screaming, like arms flailing, screaming, pointing, getting threatening, like making a scene, like Walmart people. I had never been on the receiving end of this ever in my entire life. I am like, I don't know what to do. Like, I can't tell her to calm down because that's just gonna make her more angry. So I just like, she's just screaming at me, and Sarah like gets her SD card. And she gets in line, and she gets up to the check stand, and the guy's like, "Got your Costco card?" She's like, "My Costco card is over there." And the guy like turns to see me like this with this woman just screaming and yelling at me, and he's like, "You can use mine." So that's how Sarah got her SD card. I don't even remember what I said. I said something that was totally untrue and grovelly to the effect of like, "Baby, I'll love you forever," or something, just to get her to like stop doing whatever it is she was doing. And all of a sudden she was the most disgustingly sweet human being in the entire world, and just loved all over Sarah, just absolutely just like sickeningly sweet to Sarah all of a sudden. And it just, I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. This is like bipolarness I cannot deal with at all. And so we picked Nick up at the airport, and she is just the happiest thing in the entire world to finally meet my best friend in the entire world. I am so happy that like Nick and Sarah can sit in the backseat of that car and like chit chat and get to know each other. And then like for the next 2 weeks, Nick and Sarah went everywhere together. Absolutely hiked mountains and went to waterfalls and beaches, and they were just like best buddies in the entire world. And the great thing is that Sarah's from Seattle as well. So after graduation, they both fly back to Seattle. Nick leaves his parents' house, moves into Seattle itself. And they're hanging out. It takes months for Nick to finally just like, but he finally does. And they've been together ever since. So they're at 19 years together. Been married for 10 as of this past weekend. So yeah, congratulations to them. Anyway, I'm still stuck in this relationship. I move home to Seattle after graduation. She gets an internship at the University of Washington and comes over winter break for like 10 days to do stuff with the University of Washington. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're hanging out. And so we hang out. And then she goes back to school, and I don't have school at this point. I am between school, and I'm working, and, we're still communicating via email and text message and whatever. And the movie 300 is coming out. And, for like 2 years, people have been watching the 300, trailers because they were like epic, and then Nine Inch Nails playing, and it was just like, oh, this movie's gonna be awesome. And so a friend of mine, she's like, "Hey, I got tickets for us to watch 300 at the Cinerama," which is like this fantastically huge theater in downtown Seattle with big curved screen. It seats like 5,000 people. It's like we do big events. And so she got tickets for myself and Nick, and we go. And Sarah couldn't come because she was working, but like went to her house afterwards, like eat dinner and whatnot. And so the next day I get this message from my girlfriend, and she's like, "Oh my God, I saw 300 last night. It was amazing. Like, I saw it too. It was really awesome. So with Nick and Lauren." And she was like, she said the message back, it's like one sentence. It was like, "You can tell me if Sarah was there, I won't break." I was like, "Oh no, Sarah couldn't make it. She was working, but we went to her house for dinner afterwards." Send. And then I got this like gigantic angry breakup email, and it was the most marvelous thing in the entire world. I was like, finally, I'm free. Because I knew if I had broken up with her, she would have hopped on a plane, flown to Seattle, and murdered me. So if she broke up with me, then I was in the clear, and I didn't have any responsibility after that. And so she did this giant breakup with me, and I was like, "Oh, bummer. Oh well, send." And then I get like an hour later, like, "I didn't mean it, baby. I was just venting. I didn't mean it. I didn't want to break up with you." I was like, "No takesy backsies. Over." And so anyway, Kauai. I would love to go to Kauai someday and not be terrified for my life because of the person that I was knocking boots with. So, go enjoy Kauai. The beaches are magnificent. I had a couple of good restaurant experiences. I know that pool with the cliffs and the rope swings was really awesome because I could do it once, and I would love to do it more times. And yeah, so This is the kind of information in this book. I mean, this book's like 20 years old now, but all the natural beauty spots are still there. So I recommend getting updated version of this guy and checking it out. My experience in Kauai was I wish the college was on Kauai and not where it was in Hilo. Not that I don't like the Big Island. It's just that there are no beaches, and that sucks. Like a lot of people, they go to Hawaii, like, oh, I'm going to sit on the beach all day long. You end up at UH Hilo, and there's no beaches. It just pisses rain all the time. Whereas Kauai's got this kind of like laid back, little more laid back lifestyle. Hilo is a little bit angrier and a little more like third world. So like I wish I had the access to the mountains and everything, but just with the more of the Kauai pace, I think. But yeah, I think you'd have a good time there no matter what. Low B, Houston, you were quite quitting that relationship. I have since learned to sort of stick up for myself since then, because it takes you gotta go through life lessons. Like it never occurred to me that I would like be in what was essentially an emotionally abusive relationship. I didn't plan like, hey, when you grow up, you're gonna date a hot chick and she's gonna be insane. So when it happens, you're like, I don't know how to. No one gave me the tools to navigate any of this. And I'm sure lots of women go through this with like absolutely insane boyfriends who are even more terrifying because they can like pick you up and throw you and stuff. But it's yeah, that was a doozy. So yeah, I basically waited until she finally dumped me, and then I was like, whoo. And then she got back with her fiance. I don't know if they ever got married or not. I kind of lost track of them after that. But yeah, I mean, was she hot? She was so hot. like, man, smoke show, but not worth it. Not worth it at all. Okay. So, anywho, where were we on that one? That was, I lost where I was. Oh. That was Robert Manson one, the liquidity one. Oh, Corporate Walnut asking about Hawaii. Yeah. You'll have a great time on Kauai. Digdo Doink. Even if something happened today, triggering something or some swap behind the scenes, I never expected news the same day. I would think a few days to a week at least to start seeing what happened. Maybe that's it. Maybe we'll see something happen next week. Until then, thumb twiddling, man. Twiddle them thumbs. Hazel A. I wish PP would do his shows. That was the only way I have of keeping up with BPYQ. I don't know what they're doing now. I mean, there's only so much to talk about. Because, like, whatever's in play is in play. There's nothing we can do about it. Nothing we can, like, do to inch it along faster or make it happen. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And we can talk about all the ways it could happen. And that's it. That's all the power we have in this, because we're not the decision makers. We're not the ones that pull the trigger on any of it. We're not the ones who are the lawyers or the ones who sign the NDAs. We just kind of have speculation on our side. And that's all we got. And I guess it's a way of kill time between now and if and when something happens. But, man, I really wish something would happen. It's... that's what it is. Digdo Doink. Oh, wait. Yeah. Even stocks that pay a dividend when they say August 1st is the dividend payable date, it doesn't happen until midnight after the day's close, and then it still could take over the weekend to show up. That's a good point. So maybe things happened, and there's payouts coming, and we just got to, like, sit. If the payouts happen tomorrow, believe me, we will do a show tomorrow, because there'll be confetti and, like, party poppers and strippers and, like, I don't know, monkeys hanging from the ceiling and stuff. So yeah, if any moment payments start to go through and people's accounts, expect me to log in with my Martinellis, immediately go to the BBBY remastered page and go, ha 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 ha, fucking losers. And that'll be it. That'll be the show. Sis54, Rest in peace, PBS, Corporation for Public Broadcasting is dead. I'm sick and tired. I just want to pay out so I can move on from this funky country. Yeah, Corporation for Public Broadcasting is toast. It's gone. They're the ones who help fund local PBS and NPR stations around the country, produce shows, Sesame Street, Reading Rainbow, Square One, all sorts of amazing shows you watched as a kid and like learned from. And they killed it because those shows teach kids about how to care for other people. And caring about other people is apparently the worst thing you could possibly do in an environment where we elected somebody specifically to hurt people. So hurting people, like if PBS came out with shows like how to torture cats, they would have all the funding you could possibly imagine. But because they have shows where like, hey, you and I, we're very much alike, and we can be friends. You can't have shows like that. You can't have them learning how to count to 12 or saying the alphabet or learn, emotional management of their feelings. You just can't have those things. So, yeah. Decatur Raw, thanks for Super Chat. I'm still tuned in, Houston. Keep the great work. I love you, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. Love you too. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Captain Jimmy Wilder. We got Captain Rhino. We got Captain Jimmy Wilder. We got all the captains in the house today. Houston, can you please let us know what sites are best to reference the options chain and what data you look at specifically for going all in on puts calls? Thanks. I mostly just use just because the layout is something I like to look at more than other sites. The Yahoo options chain ones are the ones that I like looking at. Gosh dang it, if I just learn how to put spaces. There we go. The Yahoo Finance one, if you just search like something such options chain, it's usually the first one that comes up. But the layout just looks better to me than most others. And I don't know if it's because it actually is better or if it's just what my brain got used to looking at. But it shows me, the last price, the current bid, and ask at the end of the day, or while the trading day is going on, gives you the implied volatility, gives you the open interest, and gives you the number of contracts that sold. And this is just, it gives you this nice layout. It shows you the stuff that's in the money, highlighted, out of the money, unhighlighted. So these are the calls for GameStop. These are the ones that are in the money. These are the ones that are out of the money. And then for the puts that are in the money and the puts that are out of the money. And right now, we still have like incredibly low volatility. The price dropped down to 22.10, so it dropped with everything else because the whole market is just red today. So the implied volatility is nice and low. This is for next week. I don't think they have today's in here still. No, after close they just got rid of today's. But yeah, you can get these pretty darn cheap. So these are the 8th, right? These are for next week, and you can get 22 fives for under 40 cents for next week. That is bonkers. That's absolutely insane. That doesn't seem like it could be right, man. Yeah, 40 cents to get calls just out of the money for a week out. When implied volatility sky high, like in we had the run-ups in May, June, whatever. Implied volatility was at like 600-700%. This option right here was like $5 or $500 for a contract, and right now it's not even 40. Just wait, the numbers are all messed up here. What the hell? Refresh. There we go. Okay, yeah, not even 40. 22.5, 37 cents. Insane. I should have just spent every dime I have on those because it's gonna pop above 22.50 at some point. We're basically at parity with the amount of cash that GameStop has, but that's not the question you're asking. This is basically what I use to look at options. Different brokerage apps have different layouts. I really don't. I think my least favorite is Weeble's layout for options. my brain has a hard time putting the numbers together. I can't even explain how it's laid out, but it just hurts my head to look at and try to process information. Robinhood's user interface probably does the best job. Fidelity makes it a little difficult, but it's not that bad. And I haven't traded options on other platforms, so I'm not quite sure. Like, I never bothered trading options on my Schwab platform or anything. I just use Schwab for shit penny stocks to mess around with. So that's where I have my Sears stock, because no one else will let me buy it. Schwab was like, I don't care. But yeah, if you just need like a layout, see what's happening during the day, the Yahoo Finance one is just pretty much the best setup. There are other setups. Let's see if we can get back to like NASDAQ options chain. It's kind of similar. They put the puts and calls on one side or the other at the same prices. This is kind of how Webull does it, and I don't want to see the puts next to the calls. I just want one or the other. I want to look at one at a time, and I don't like that. Options charts. Let's see here. These guys kind of do the same thing. That puts on one side, calls on the other. I like the Yahoo way of just doing one or the other. These ones, they like to show like Max Payne and everything, all the charts and graphs, and it's just too much. It's too much, and it's pat in the eyes, and there's fucking ads everywhere. And I don't know, the Yahoo one just is pleasing to the eyes. So that's what I use, and that's basically the only reason I use it. For a second there, I didn't realize if I turned off the intro or not, but I think I made it. All right. Dig do doink. Honestly, I cannot believe PBS News. So sad that the government is threatened by empathetic and educational television to fully support propaganda news. Yeah, and we're gonna get rid of our only option for non-commercially sponsored news programs. Like, you watch the news, it is basically ads for drugs because you pee too much, ads for drugs so you don't pee enough, ads for drugs because your blood's too thick, ads for drugs because your blood's too thin, ads for drugs that keep you pooping, ads for drugs to stop you from pooping. Like, that's the news. That's the nightly news. So if you want to get television information for people, you've got to weigh through, newscasts that will avoid talking about certain things, especially stuff related to pharmaceuticals and whatnot, because they're the main sponsors for their broadcasts, because their demographic are 150 years old. And PBS News, even PBS News would bring in like ITN News and BBC, and they just did a fantastic job. They cover a lot more things you would never see on other networks, a lot more world news. So you'd hear about things going on in Zaire and Thailand and stuff you just never would hear here, because we're so focused on like American drama. But it's a real bummer, and it's stupid is where we are. Just stupid. Just mammy. Economy's so bad, Trump is going to release the Epstein files as a distraction. Okay. Hot Pocket Rebel. I never thought it was possible to hate something more than Trump, but I think I hate Ryan Cohen more than Trump. He has stolen years off my life, dragging this play out forever. I'll be dead before I can enjoy any of the money that I've lost believing this bullshit garbage that's never amount to anything. He's got to pull the trigger, and it's got to be a payout. I mean, he did the interviews a couple weeks ago. We talked about creating value for the shareholder. Well, so far, the shareholder has no value. Our shares are cheaper than they were 4 years ago when most of us bought in. So if you're going to create value for the shareholder, that value needs to be reflected in the share price or via dividends or other payments, right? It can't just be, hey, we amassed $10 billion. If it's not reflected in the share price, that means nothing. So you got to do something to make the share price go up. So make the share price go up. It's that simple, man. That's how you do it. That's how you figure out if you create value for the shareholders, if you create actual value for the shareholder. So make the share price go up. The reset. That chat just reset. Dang it. Come on, man. Where are we? Hot Pocket Rebel, where were you? There you are. Okay. Anthony Cordell, happy birthday, Houston. I was just wondering if you knew what happened to our unicorn inventions of MMAT. I don't know where the IP is, honestly. I haven't been paying too much attention to the bankruptcy. I know there's like tons of lawsuits going on in the bankruptcy for essentially manipulation by market makers and short and distorts by hedge funds. So I think there's a lot of stuff that's going to come out, but I don't actually know where the IP is at the moment. I sure we could probably go through and figure out if there's any bidding process for a lot of it. I know George somehow got a hold of the website, so he owns the website for MMAT because they were just going to get rid of it, and he put up some sort of fight and maintained the site. So the info on the website, the corporate info is all still there. Beyond that, I don't know. So just maybe it says Firestream Labs. I probably should and figure out how to learn to use a different one. The problem is this is the only one I know how to use. And it took me so long to figure it out, and even then I'm bad at it. So, Hot Pot Rebel, I used to be a happy-go-lucky, enjoyable guy, but this GameStop and Bed Bath Beyond play has destroyed my soul. Eagle Mullen says, Hot Pocket, I don't care if RC ate shit at this point, so don't feel bad. Yeah, Homer's Ghost gives you a little heart. Yeah, definitely shit and his breath smells like it. Yeah, man, there's no way out. Basically, Joshua Reuter, nuclear subs off the coast of Russia. How close is the doomsday clock to midnight? This is insanity. I mean, I think it's been touching on midnight basically since COVID. We've got like irreversible climate change going on. We're going to have massive food insecurity globally. We're collapsing economies all over the place. We're destroying the international trade. We've got wars popping off all over the place because people are just getting angry about bullshit. And yeah, so I guess bring on the bomb, as War would say. The God Emperor 41K. Hot Pocket Niggy, I am in the same boat. I'm so jaded now, it's not funny. Yeah. At Tray 5, Popeyes just opened in New Zealand. Let's fucking go. Get yourself a spicy chicken sandwich. I've never actually had a Popeyes chicken sandwich. I've only been to Popeyes once. And I had, I think, just regular fried chicken when I went. It was okay. But I hear that their spicy chicken sandwich is like the best of the spicy chicken sandwiches. So give that one a whirl. He said, dang girl, you're spoiled now. How dare you serve her pig ears? I know, Monkey. I'm so sorry I served you another pig ear. You have, how many do you have left? One. I think there's 4. So we're almost there. And then we can get different. We can go to Costco and get something better for you, right? She's like, Arya Shadow, a small Vancouver grocery store, removed all U.S. products, importing items from New Zealand, Australia, and importing Canadian beef again. Friends are giving me crap for using Amazon, though. Though it's Canada, it is Canada workers. I get it. King Ding Dong. Am I high, or does something say they might have Pete Hegseth run in Tennessee? Ugh. That would be a messy campaign. Can you imagine Pete Hegseth on a bus tour with hotel bars being around? Oh man, they're gonna get so much dirt on that guy. He would not be trusted at all. It'll be a sloppy drunk fest if he runs for something in Tennessee. But him being out of the Pentagon would be a fantastic thing. Arya Shadow, Epstein's business partner, increased tariff on Canada 35%. Canadians wear release Epstein files t-shirts to future negotiations and order tacos for lunch. I like it. I like it. Okay, I got 5 minutes I can go here, and then I promised my mother I was going to go to her house for dinner tonight, so we're going over there. Hazel A, a local funeral home, said tariffs are bringing up the cost of granite headstones. Cost more to die now. Yeah, a lot of those headstones are carved outside the country and sent here. Because it's cheaper than having the machines do it here and having quarries here, yeah. Video brand is here. Woo! My spy puts were a nice cap to my week. Nice job. If you bought at the money yesterday, you made $1,400 on each one of those suckers. So not too shabby. I think at the money was like $250. So basically, you almost 6x'd almost 6x'd your money Not too shabby. MS High, up here in the Northeast, ICE is hunting Asian folks, kind of my suburb, and came up empty, no mass on them. Nice. I saw an amazing video from a town in Missouri where ICE showed up to a restaurant, shut the restaurant down, and the customers chased them away by basically asking for a warrant. They said, "We have a warrant, criminal warrant to search this place." Like, cool, can I see it? And the ICE just turned around and ran away. And they chased them out of the restaurant, and they got in their little trucks and drove off. Fuck those guys. I'm under the personal opinion. Like, if I were president, I would write an executive order that says if you are law enforcement and you lie about having a warrant, you go to prison for the rest of your life. There needs to be responsibility for those with authority and power so that when they do something wrong, they get punished for it tenfold compared to what the average person would. Part of our social contract needs to be that if you are entrusted with authority or power in our society, you need to be the better person at all times. And if you fall short of that, we will fuck you up. So all these ICE goons out here pretending and lying and wearing face masks and everything, I would fill up every single one's detention centers that they've built with all that money with them. And they would get to go spend their lives there because that's the only way any of these folks are going to get justice. So, suck it, ICE. When will ICE give up? Well, I don't know if you heard about what happened in Homan's hometown, Sackett Harbor, New York, that was called. Little rural town of about 1,300 people. ICE, with a warrant, went looking for somebody who knows, but essentially they busted into the next door neighbors of Tom Homan, the head of ICE, and the border czar, whatever you want to call him. And they arrested a family that was here, documented, going to immigration hearings and court dates and all that stuff, absconded with the family. It's like a mom, dad, and like 3 children. Took them to a holding facility more than 1,000 miles away, and the entire town has freaked the fuck out. And they have mounted protests. We're talking 1,300 people in this little rural town, and they are doing protests where they're encircling Homan's house, basically being like, "Fuck you!" And these are Republicans, Democrats, Independents. These are small town people who know everybody in town, and they are pissed this family got stolen from them. They weren't violating any laws. They weren't here illegally. They weren't even on the warrant. The warrant was the wrong house. And Homan's all like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to betray this town. I want to retire here. This is where I want to spend my time. And now you all hate me. And I'm going to figure out how to get that family back. Fuck you, dude. Now that it finally affects you, you're going to do something about it and not for the hundreds or thousands of other people that you've messed up. But because, they're protesting my precious house. Like, this is what I'm saying. This is an administration bent purely on cruelty and have no understanding and no empathy for other people. And it only matters when it actually affects them. So it's like Kevin O'Leary being like, those Epstein victims need to just shut up. Fuck you, dude. Like, if I went and just put Kevin Leary in a gimp mask in a basement for a year, he would not shut up about it when he got out. Just telling you. Like, it'll be super bad if it happens to him, but not anyone else. Just toughen up. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. Okay. David Wright again with the baseball talk. I'm out sometimes. 2 times playback speed. It's all that keeps us watchable. Bye-bye. Hot Pocket Rebel loves the baseball talk. Eagle Mountain Kevin Leary has always been too ugly for anyone to want anything to do with. That's true. That's true. Whisker Biscuit in Seattle area for a week starting down near Rainier. You talked about this yesterday, just at Third Bureau. Kicked our butts Mildred Point today. Campmere tomorrow. What are some must things do? Breweries, wineries. Yeah, you asked this yesterday, and I said, what's the best teriyaki sushi? There's a lot of really good sushi. The best sushi place moved to Maui, which is a bummer. That was Shima here on Bainbridge. But there's some really good sushi places. Like if you want one that doesn't break the budget and has a really good happy hour, there's um oh crap, the one by the ferry. Nori's? Shoot, what am I called? Sushi Seattle. Gosh, yeah, but nope, not that one. Nope. There's the ferry. There's that. Where are you, dude? Western. No. Is it gone? It better not be gone. It's the best, cheapest place there is. Okay. It's off of Western, right? Yeah, it's off of Western. It is right by the ferry. It is a block away from... Oh, Post Alley. Here we go. Yeah, that's where we want. Did you not pay their ad for this? What the heck? That's Post Alley Pizza. Watermark Tower. Dan's Market. Sushi by Ferry. What the heck? Not Umi. Not that one. Sorry, I'm just stuck looking here now. Because the name is totally escaping me. And... not Shiro's. Not that one. Not Pink Door. Not Japanese. Not Wasabi. They did not pay a Google ad. And now Google will make them completely impossible to search for. Crap. No. None of those places. No. 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 Shiro's, Umi, Kashiba. No. What the hell? Where'd it go? Sushi Kashiba, that's not it. Nijo's. Nijo's. That's the one. It's by the ferry on Post Alley. Happy hour is really cheap. Well, I don't know. I haven't been there since all the tariffs gone in effect. And they've got some really great stuff. They've got a lot of unique Seattle style sushi. So there's you'll see things like California rolls, which are not traditional Japanese roll, but they have Bainbridge Island rolls, which are these like panko fried sushi rolls that are awesome. Cream cheese rolls. Cream cheese is huge. Seattle dish. Seattle dogs covered in cream cheese and whatnot. I recommend that. Teriyaki, there's a lot of teriyaki places all over the place. Pretty much any of them are going to be really good because this is the teriyaki capital of the world. So you just pick the dingiest looking one that's probably going to blow your mind. So like, hole in the wall. Get Japanese curry, get teriyaki, get panko cutlets with barbecue sauce. They're all going to be awesome. So Darren says, I have the Wahoo version. Oh, of the Ultimate Kawaii Guidebook. Nice. Oh shit, I got to get going. I totally lost my thing here. Okay. So thank you so much. If money shows up people's accounts tomorrow, we'll be doing a show in the evening. Until then, see you Monday. Otherwise, right, monkey?
Right, fat cat?
Okay. Anywho, you guys have a great night and have a great weekend. Cool. Boink.